So this is a short video log on my thoughts on rotoscoping. Rotoscoping is a very big, there's a big debate on rotoscoping in animation. You either love it or you hate it, or you can be half and half. But there is a big debate about rotoscoping. For me, what rotoscoping is, I have explained before in my blog, but rotoscoping is where you take live action footage and you trace over it. You draw over it using pencil and paper if you really want to print off the frames, or you would trace over it using a program of Flash or Toon Boom. I personally prefer Toon Boom, and it worked really well for me. I'm not comfortable with Flash. I may have a good using it, but that's not important. But for me personally, I don't like it that much. I'm a bit on the fence with it. I would use it for some purposes, but more likely I'll never use it unless needed. I find that rotoscoping is cheating. The idea of animation is to mimic live action, but create it in a complete different way, or a simplified, broken down way. For example, in live action walk, it could take more than 24 frames for somebody to walk across the screen, or more than 24 frames to do 2 steps. Whereas in animation, we break that down, and the rule is, I'll say the rule, or the universal method of a walk cycle would be 2 steps for 24 frames. And like I said before, in natural live action footage of somebody walking, it may not, but it may go over 24 frames for them to take 2 steps. For whatever the person speed it is of them walking. But the idea is breaking it down and simplifying it, because even if we do 24 frames for 2 steps, when playing it back, it will look as smooth as rotoscoping. If you are on 1s, you'll be doing 24 frames per second. If you're doing it on 2s, you'll be doing 12 frames per second. But as I said, I find it that it's cheating, and the idea of animation is learning that breakdown and learning how to animate characters more of an animation than copying it. And you don't really learn, it's all there for you if you rotoscope. Although there is good things about rotoscoping, there are probably few reasons why I would use it. I would use it, as I said before, only when I need to, or only when I feel that I need to use rotoscope. So the main one would be if the movement is too difficult, as in I can't physically animate this because the movement is too complex. Same as with Tex Avery, that's earlier on the blog, up there. He animated lizard stripping, and he found that the movement was really complex for someone just to animate casually. They'd animate any movement. So they filmed a woman stripping and then rotoscoped the lizard, drawing the lizard over the live action frames, and the results are above, and it works really well, and it really helps if you need it. The second reason is just the technique of rotoscoping, to get a really nice, really good quality animation. For example, if we've been asked to, which we did, that's the rotoscoping task, or if I feel like, or if I would like to use rotoscope, like I said, using the technique. Like for example, timing for animation. The song that I did, I rotoscoped over some footage of the video game that the song is from, and I didn't end up using it because it didn't fit with the music. timing with music would be more on things appearing or things moving, obviously in time with the music. So it looked like it was just an animation with music in the background, and I didn't really like it, and so I didn't bother adding it. The footage is still here. The animation is on the blog below, on another page, but I never used it, but it was good practice for rotoscoping. Another one is that in the brief I'm doing organ donation and transplantation, and I've got the idea of rotoscoping an interview with the doctor, a doctor that I have, explaining about what makes an organ a match, what it is that makes it work for the recipient. And that, after filmed, got the audio for that, and got the interview, I'm going to rotoscope over it, just like I'm inspired from The Waking Life. So stuff like that are the only reasons really, is if they're, like I said, complex movement or would like to use the technique. There are films that have used it. Snow White and Disney do use it for the complex movement as well. I know that in Sleeping Beauty they used it for when they did the song Walk With You Once Upon a Dream, I think that's the song. When she's dancing with the prince, it was too difficult to animate, so they rotoscoped that. But there's also, with me, I feel like you can kind of tell if it's rotoscoped. So when I was watching Snow White, I could tell that the prince is rotoscoped and that Snow White is probably rotoscoped, that the queen is rotoscoped. It's probably more to the detail of the drawing. It could be that that was their style. This is just my thoughts on it. But I'll be going in detail about Snow White in another video. But overall, that is my thoughts on rotoscoping, that I would only use it for complex movements and if I want to use the technique. And that's everything on my thoughts on rotoscoping.